has evolved as a brand and something which is not just another coffee shop, right? So that's how entrepreneurship or the branding should happen. So they don't actually make the best coffee, but they created an experience. This company created an experience where the coffee along with the experience become a brand, right? So you not you if you like coffee, but this business model is completely not based upon coffee. It's about how much time you can sit in the coffee shop, how many people you can accommodate. You can take your entire office, entire team, and sit there and do your project uh, discussion. So that's how Starbucks is completely different from a normal tea shop or a coffee shop. So that's the way in which we have to innovate, and in the way in which your business has to think and evolve in the process. So I'll just talk about how a business can evolve. Then I'll come to how you have to learn or how you have to behave in the entrepreneurship journey. Okay. And I guess all of you know this guy, the extreme left-hand side person, Steve Jobs. So we all know that he has built a company called Apple, and Apple phones or Apple computers are known for their quality and their sophisticated software. Right? Even though you might argue that they are not safe, but they are known for their sophistication. But I guess all of you know that Steve Jobs did not know even a single line of coding, right? So, but he was interested in taking the product or taking the idea to the customer. So it's not always about you have to learn the basics of any business, then only you have to start the business. It's enough that you have the interest of or vision of taking the product to the customer, or having the customer in mind, and then taking the product to them as they like. It's not like you produce something and just like Microsoft, they produce and we have to use it for our own purpose. It's not like that. Any product, the customer should be the first aspect of the business. From there only you have to design the product. For example, even in our case, we think about the student or the research scholar who want to get trained from us. From there, we think that what are the concepts which we found difficult when we learned. So we teach that and then build upon that concept and do our trainings. So like that, when we, whatever idea we have, whatever people-centric idea we have, it will surely be a success. But provided that you don't shift that one focus from your business, it should always be customer centric, and from there you have to evolve your product. So you need not even learn the basics of the product. It's enough that you understand how you can take the product to the customer. One such biggest example is Steve Jobs, right? So but the technical guy in this photograph is Steve Wozniak, who is at the right hand side of this photograph. But we all know Steve Jobs more than him, right? So that's the idea behind the entrepreneurship. And one more company which is known or which is a news for in recent times is SpaceX. And we all know the person behind SpaceX is Elon Musk, right? So Elon Musk is a completely is the Steve Jobs of our times of this particular generation, right? So he has completely transformed a lot of industries. The biggest industry is the space exploration. Before that, we had only the monopoly of the government agencies like NASA, ISRO, and China Space Agency. But SpaceX has completely revolutionized space industry, and people or government organizations are looking forward to partner with SpaceX for their own launches. So that's the scale which SpaceX has evolved. So the biggest lesson from SpaceX is it's okay to have a lot of giant players in your industry. You should not get distracted from their success. Their chapter 100 will be completely different from your chapter 0 or chapter 1. So it's completely unreasonable to compare your initial journey within the biggest giants. For example, again, I'll draw one more parallel example. So we are in the training business. I'll just compare. Okay, and Byju's also are in the training business. Right? Both of our products are different, but Byju's are also training online, right? But what we are training and what they are training is completely different, right? So you can learn from their journey, learn from their mistakes, but it is completely different. Your business or your idea will be completely different from the other person's idea on already in the game, right? You might think that you're also yours product and their product is completely same, but it's not like that. When you go a dig deep into their product, somewhere down the line their idea would be different and your idea would be different, right? So that is the biggest trait which you have to have. Even though you have a lot of big players in your industry, entrepreneurship is always dwelling about how you can solve a customer, right? So three biggest points: you will not be best at your product. You should create an experience to your customer to have a successful entrepreneurship journey, and your customer should always be on the centric point. The products you develop or the experience which you want to give, it should not be your idea or your what you like. It should be what the customer likes and how you can improve them. And another trait of a successful entrepreneur is you should not get distracted by the big players in the industry. It should always be focused on your way. You can learn from the big players, but you should focus on your journey. Your chapter one is completely different from chapter 100 of the bigger player, right? So SpaceX has, Elon Musk has a lot of different companies like SpaceX, Tesla Motors, Solar, Hyperloop, Boring Company. All of these companies are completely going to Starlink, right? And I hope you have heard about Starlink. It's a complete satellite-based internet connection. Already, Starlink has uh, shifted or sent out close to 400 small satellites in the orbit. They're planning for 3,000 satellites around the Earth, which will give connectivity to the entire world, internet connectivity. So we will not depend upon Vodafone or Airtel. We will directly subscribe to Starlink and get internet access wherever we go in the world. So that's the amount of disruption Elon Musk is doing. So if you want to get into entrepreneurship, Elon Musk would be the biggest source of inspiration for you. So study him or study his biography. You'll gain a lot of inspiration from that. So that's what entrepreneurship is all about. You have to evolve in the process. You have to be strong in whatever situation you get. You have to be very customer focused. So that's entrepreneurship. So now I'll tell what how you can shape up yourself to take up entrepreneurship as a career focus. Because as I said, this presentation is only for those few people who want to take the risk on their career. Career in the sense, even I had a very safe career. Maybe I'll tell that in a few slides. So everything starts with you, and maybe I'll show that and then talk to you. Right. So it is not always required to have a entrepreneurship DNA or a business DNA in you. It's okay to not belong to a non-business family, right? If you don't have a family business, it's fine. You can always get into entrepreneurship. It's entrepreneurship is completely not always about sitting in a boss table and having a team of 10, 15 people. Entrepreneurship is basically about how to solve a problem of a customer. For example, if you have a Facebook page or if you have an Instagram page, you are already an entrepreneur because you think about what photographs or what information can I share to get the maximum like. That is entrepreneurship. So you want to improve a person's life, those who see your post, or you want to touch upon the few persons who see your post, right? Then only they'll like or share. In that sense, if you have your YouTube channel, again, you're an entrepreneur. So if you at least if you have upload a WhatsApp story, again, you are an entrepreneur because you want to grab attention, you want to improve. If you are sharing a motivational message, you want to improve someone's life. So that is the basic characteristics of the basic DNA of an entrepreneur. Even though you don't have a family business, it's enough you have the idea about how to solve a person or how to improve a person's life, then only they'll become your customer, right? So as far as my journey is concerned, I'm a very very average student. Maybe now I tell it proudly, but when I was studying it was really really difficult for me. I'm not promoting being average, but this is my journey. Okay, so I was a very average student. I was to just pass, and somehow I got passed and got 2 degrees, right? So that's a different story. And I have an experience of close to 8+ years, right from my first sales job in 2012, then assistant professor. in for 2 years in an engineering college. Then I worked for a startup for 2 years. Then I started this journey in 2016 and for the past 4 years, right? So I maybe from the other jobs, the assistant professor, when I was an assistant professor, I had a comfortable life, right? As far as the career is concerned. So I just had to do my PhD, and by now I would have become a settled professor, right? Not professor, sorry, some grade, right? So in that case, I left that comfort and went and joined a startup in 2015. So that was the biggest turning point in my life when I left my comfortable job or comfortable life and took that risk in following my passion or following my calling, natural calling. So that's this journey is all about. It's not like after completing your engineering degree, directly you have to jump into entrepreneurship. Take the experience, take the time to really evaluate whether you are interested in entrepreneurship. It should not be an instinctive, sorry, it's not be a knee-jerk reaction to your joblessness. If you don't get a job, you have to become an entrepreneur. It's not like that. Entrepreneurship is a completely different game where you try different things. Then you think that there is a problem in that particular job or in that particular customer experience that only you can solve. Then only you have to come out and solve that particular problem. For example, when I was in the teaching career, I felt that people or student were actually not understanding. There was a wide gap between the what we teach and the industry, because previously I was in industry also when I started my career. So there was a wide gap in between the industry and what we were teaching in the classroom. So I thought that that was the biggest problem which I wanted to solve. Maybe for the past 5 years, I have been solving that. So once you get the experience in some company or experience in whatever you love, then only you have to start your entrepreneurship journey. It's the biggest mistake most of the young people do, because if you don't get a job, immediately you start some company or start some kind of opportunity, so some kind of startup, and term yourself as an entrepreneur and post Instagram pics. But it's not like that. You will fail, because it's my experience. Even I tried that in the first 1 year of my journey. I failed miserably, right? So it's very important that you get some experience first, at least for 1 or 2 years. Then if you find any problem, or if you find any real challenge in that particular job, come out and solve that for the customer, right? Or else, if you are really there are other forms, like you are a very good artist, you are very good in writing, you are very good in singing, like if you are like that, then the journey will be completely different. You can start right from the board. You can start today also. So you just have to have a YouTube channel or Instagram uh, uh, page to showcase your talent. That's a completely different, right? Talent, all if you already have, you're an artist, you write blogs, you sing well, you dance well, a YouTube channel, you can start today also, right? So, but if you want to do a business, right, if you want to solve a person's problem through different products, then I will suggest you that you have to get some experience, then jump into the entrepreneurship journey, because then you will know what are the drawbacks or how the business runs, because that is the safest game how you can learn. Because if you are working for somebody else, the risks are very low. You can understand the business there. It's not like you have to steal your business, their business model. It's not like that. Understand the business first, and look for some problems which you can solve through your instinctiveness, right? That is the birthplace of entrepreneurship, right? So till then, keep working. It might take 1 year, 2 year, 15 years. That's completely different, because I'm 32 now. Like, don't think that 23 or 24 or even 21 is a very big age, right? Even so, after 25 also, still you have 45 more years to prove yourself, or to have experiment with your job, right? And this I'm talking about after 25, right? So when you graduate out of college by 21 or 22, if you're doing masters, fine. I'll keep the cutoff as 25. So till 25 or maybe 27, work somewhere and have some idea about the job, then you can jump into the entrepreneurship depending upon your commitment, right? So I'm 32 now, right? So I'm telling you that age is just a number, right? So you have lot of time still to experiment and live your life. Still, now in my case, I still have I'm very bad in max, 28 or 30 more years to run this business or to evolve in my career, right? So we can improve as the journey goes. No company was perfect, right? So that's the thing. Get some experience. You have a lot of time to start your entrepreneurship journey and get into the groove, right? So as far as my journey is concerned, as you can see, I have I have jumped 4 jobs, and now I've trained maybe more than 10,000 engineers, both online and offline. And entrepreneurship was just a chance or an accident, where as I told you, my teaching experience, that I learned something and I wanted to solve that. But over the past 8 years, the passion to teach or my interest in teaching has not changed. So that's one thing I have a very strong hold on. So have one idea which is very strong, close to you, then experiment with that. So whatever experiment I've done, it is with teaching only, right? So that's very important. And of course, if you have to believe in someone, it might be your family, or it can be spirituality based upon your belief. So you have to believe someone, right? So the plan might be simple. You run the business for 2 or 3 years. You will be the winner. You will be covered by Times Magazine. It will never happen, right? So the reality is different. So at each and every step, when you face the customer and when you face the actual client, you will face a lot of hardships. So the 3 years or 5 year plan which you already had can become 20 or 25 years, right? So that is the biggest risk as far as entrepreneurship concerned. If your commitments as of today, just think for that moment, if your family commitments or if your own personal commitments uh, does not allow you to go that journey, go that distance, if there is a small setback in the journey and your goal uh, target shifts to 20 or 30 years, will you be able to still survive, right? So that is the biggest question you have to ask before getting into entrepreneurship, because this is not for the faint hearted, right? So this is why most of the companies, close to 95% of the companies, fail in first 5 years. This is the reason, because you might think that you can earn a lot of money. You can be the star in your domain in 2 or 3 years. It will never happen, because you might have a very good Instagram page, you might upload your own motivation quotes, but the reality is, still inside you will be suffering. Your business might not take off as you wanted to. But as I said in the previous slides, once you improve and you have a strong belief that you want to go the distance, you will face all the hardships or ups and downs and reach your goal. So that's the biggest, and you have to do it alone. No one will come to your rescue, your parents, your siblings, your peers, your spouse. No one will come to your rescue. Most of the time, 99% of the time, you will be alone in this journey. So two things which you have to keep in your mind: the journey might take a lot of time, as you can see in this picture. You might think that the rainbow is very very near, but it is a very very far away, regardless of your business or regardless how unique your idea is, right? So you have to be alone most of the time, and you have to be very strong, and your strongness should stretch to close to more than 10 years. Then only your business will start getting noticed, right? That's the very important thing. After 10 years only, people turn and look, oh, this company has been here for 10 years, let's try their product, right? So that's the cutoff point in my idea, right? As far as Tesla Mines is concerned, we are just 4 years old. Still we have 6 more years to make the position strong, right? I guess most of you are might hear your Tesla Mines for the first time, right? So that's the point I'm trying to tell. So the first thing is, it's okay to not have a family business. You should be strong enough in your idea of solving a customer's problem, and you should try some career opportunities, job opportunities, then only get into entrepreneurship maybe after 25. Or if you don't have any family commitment, take up some job at least for 1 or 2 years, then directly jump into the company. So you have a lot of time in testing the waters, and evolving as a person. And you have to be alone in this journey as an entrepreneurship. So if you are thinking about team meetings, if you are thinking about going out and uploading the pictures of your team lunch, and all those things, crazy things which we have done already, I have done. That's why I'm telling you, if you think like that. But that's not the choice here. You have to be around, you have to think a lot. 24/7, 365 days, your business should be on your mind, right? And each and every point, you might feel that you have to give up now. So that you have to be strong, and cross each and every hurdle, and reach your target. The target might change, the target might evolve each and every year, right? So the very most important thing for an entrepreneur is finding your niche. Niche is your specialization. So for example, our business is training, right? I cannot go and tell you, or I cannot introduce myself that I do training. My niche is antenna design and RF front end design. So another, maybe for Apple products, the niche is the people who are into videography, photography, and those who think about quality, right? So that's their niche. Uh, Samsung's niche is whoever wants to buy a smartphone, their first smartphone should be a Samsung smartphone. So they have a lot of smartphones coming out each and every month, right? So finding out your niche is very, very important. OnePlus niche. Can anyone guess what is the niche of the company OnePlus? Can anyone guess? Can type in the chat box. Can anyone guess what is the niche of OnePlus tablet phones? If you're listening, what is the niche of OnePlus phones? The niche of OnePlus phones is those who are anti-Apple, right? Those who don't like Apple phone, or those who don't like or fed up of Samsung phones. That is their niche. So they come up with your own product. So if you think, or if you watch the OnePlus fans, if you ask them, they will have a very strong feeling against Apple phones and Samsung phones. Right? So that is their niche. So finding out your niche, your exact customer, because these days we are exposed to more than 6,000 advertisements in a day. I'll just repeat that. We are exposed to closer more than 6,000 advertisements each day. It might be a pop-up, it might be TV advertisement, it might be the advertisement when you log into your Gmail on top. So it is a very, very distracted world. So you have to be very clear in who your customer is and how you're going to reach them, and what part of their problem you're going to solve. So that is a niche which you have to. For example, our case, we are going to train. We when we started, when we wanted to train students or engineers in the antenna domain or the RF front end domain. So that is our niche. So finding out your niche will increase the chances of the success rate of your company. For example, Amazon is has evolved over the years, right? But in the starting phases, when the Amazon started, their niche was selling books, right? They only sold books. Even now, their biggest product is books only. But you might think that Amazon sells a lot of products, but their major sales is from books only. So books was their niche. Once their business was successful, they just added all the different products, and you can see the success rate of Amazon. So finding your niche is very important for an entrepreneur, and you have to focus that on that particular niche for at least 5 to 10 years, for sure. You don't have to add another product or focus on something else just because your product is not working. As I just told, for the first 18 years or first 15 years, Amazon just sold books. They improved their customer experience, they improved their delivery process, then only they added all the other products in their delivery mechanism. So the focus on your own one particular niche is very, very important for an entrepreneur, and to take up as a career. So as to bring your entrepreneurship idea into a successful business idea, finding your niche and focusing on that one particular niche for the next 5 to 10 years is the biggest challenge, because you might get distracted. Someone will come and tell you that, suggest you ideas that add this product, do this thing, do that thing. You have to be very strong and focus on one that particular idea, And well, of course, you have to evolve your focus, but you should not change your focus, right? For example, I wanted to train and we were training. We evolved by online presence, like how I'm talking to you now, right? So that is different thing. So focusing on that particular product is very, or idea is very important. And don't ever compete. As I told you, the bigger players or the other players might be doing their own idea or their own product. Your idea is completely unique because no humans are same, right? So your idea might be some different from their idea at one particular point. So the general rule here is two persons start their company today. If two persons start their company today, after 3 years, their business would be completely different. Even if their product was same, after 3 years, their idea, how they solve the customer's problem, will be completely different. So that's how business evolve. And never think about competition. Think about how you can solve your customer's problem. And it's a very long journey. As I said, 10 or to it'll at least take 10 years for the market to appreciate your efforts, right? Till then, you have to keep investing on yourself, investing on your idea, and have a strong belief in your idea. Right. So this was my point where I thought that I had a comfortable career. It was in 2013, as you can see. I thought that I have achieved my career pinnacle, and this would be my life. But everything changed after 2015 when I left the teaching job, and then I took up the entrepreneurship journey. So that's how things would be. You have to evolve. You have to change. It's okay to leave your comfort zone, but that's what all entrepreneurship is all about. You have to leave your comfort zone and evolve as a person and evolve as a team, right? And you will face a lot of task. You will face a lot of hardship. It's not like you have to give up on the idea or your own life. You have to cross and you have to win the race. Exactly, race in the sense your own mind race. That's because you will be your biggest demotivator in this journey. So it's important that you share your experience with someone. You find someone who you can support, who will support you in all these testing times. It might be a person on YouTube who motivates, or a real time person who is very close to you, or parents, your siblings, someone. If you don't have so much closeness with anyone, a YouTube motivation video will do the job, right? So find someone who can motivate you and be there with you along the journey. Right. So entrepreneurship is all about. So how it starts with you, you have to be very strong in the resolve. You have to, even though you don't have a business DNA, you can start your own business, test the waters for 1 or 2 years, and you will be very alone in this journey. So be ready for that. You will face a lot of different hardships in this journey. So be ready for everything, and find your niche, find your specialty, what you want to do to the customer, and focus on that for the next 10 years. Right. So that is the cutoff point. And don't ever compete as an entrepreneur. You should always strive to improve the experience of the customer. Uh, your business will automatically survive. And it's a very long journey. You never think it in terms of 3 or 5 years. It will never happen. As I said, cutoff is 10 years. Right? After 10 years only, you should think. So the 10 years, you should be very strong. And if you have any commitments, make sure that your business solves that commitment. So your business helps you in supporting your family or supporting your own personal uh, uh, targets, right? So, and it's okay to change jobs, and it's okay to experiment with your jobs, but make sure that your idea or your interest is the fulcrum or is the base of all the job changes. For example, teaching was my base in all the jobs which I have worked, right? So that's very important. And it's okay to have failures. You have to face it and come out of it and run again in this journey, right? So that's very important. So that's how it starts with you. And I'll just quickly finish with the purpose and branding, right? Hopefully you are listening and interesting for you, right? So we have talked about what entrepreneurship is all about, how companies have evolved or failed in 2020, or maybe before 2020. And we have also talked about how you personally have to change your mindset to take up entrepreneurship as a career. So next section is completely based upon purpose and branding. So this is how you find your purpose. If you are a beginner, you want to get into, you want to have a successful career, or you want to do entrepreneurship. This is one thing which you have to do. It's called Ikigai, and yeah, just screenshot this whenever you have time. This is very important, right? This is how you can choose your career after this session immediately, right? So write down what all you love. That is the first circle. Then write down, I'll come clockwise, okay? So you can write down what the world needs, right? And then you can write down what you can be paid for, right? What work you can do so that people will give you money or you will get job, right? Then the last circle is what you are good at. So that is very different. Let's see that what you love and what you are good at are completely different, right? Just because you something you love, you are, it doesn't mean that you are good at it. But for example, I love cricket, so it doesn't mean that I am very good in cricket. I am a horrible player, right? So in that case, sit and write down what are the different four different aspects of your career and where they meet. You can see where you are, what you are good at and what you love is your passion. What you love and what the world needs should be your mission. What the world needs and what you can pay it for is vocation, right? For example, artist and all those arts will come under that. What you're good at and what people can pay you is profession, right? You are good in coding, you are good in teaching, so that's profession. But where your passion, mission, vocation, profession meet, that is your purpose of your life. So that's why you are here in this world, and that's what you have to do in your career for the next 40 or whatever time you have after 25 till 60, right? Think about that. From in my case, I have 28 more years to do all these things, right? So what I love, I have experimented with all these four circles. What I love, what the world needs, what I can be paid for, and what I'm good at. So maybe I'm nearing, I'm not sure whether I've got the purpose, but I'm nearing this point where my passion, mission, profession, and vocation are coming together. Maybe after 5 years, you can completely see me transformed into a completely new. I might be talking about completely about entrepreneurship or something like that, right? So that's, I'm reaching there. It's a continuous process. So I guess I want you all to do the same thing after this session. Do mention all these things I did, so you also do that. So do this uh, chart. You will find out your purpose of life, whether it is really entrepreneurship or it is just a career, one more career, right? So once you do that, once you find out your passion, your mission, vocation, or profession, money will automatically flow, right? Money will just be the byproduct of the work which you want to do, right? So money should not be the only focus of your career or the entrepreneurship journey. Money should always be the byproduct, right? So focus on how you can improve the company or how you can improve the lives of the customer. Money will automatically flow. So money should not never be the prime focus of your business or your career. Of course, in if you come to an interview, I will ask you what is your expected salary, but that's completely different, right? So your idea there should be you are doing some service or you are doing a job, you are earning your worth for that. So that's what we test when we ask what is your expected salary, whether you think that you are really worth it. That's what we test when we ask that question, right? So money should always be the byproduct of the value which you add to the company or to the customer, right? So if you want, if you have no idea about entrepreneurship, you are confused about what idea to take up, just look after the companies which have failed, right? So just learn from their mistakes and take up that particular product and evolve that, right? For example, Oyo has failed in this pandemic. Just look about how you can improve that purpose, or how you can cater to that customer differently, right? So you have lot of, as I said, 95% of the startups fail in the first 5 years. For example, in 2016, if there were 100 companies which started with me, today only 5 of them are here. 95 have failed. Right? You can think about how they have failed, and you can take up, you can improve upon them over that mistake and solve the customer's problem. Right. No company starts just to fail. Right. So they just failed in the process. They would have given up, and they were actually going to be successful. They might have given up due to financial crisis. They might have given up due to the mismanagement. Right. So you just have to evolve that process and launch your own company. Right. So failure, learn from all the failures, learn from the failures of different companies, even giants, and evolve your entrepreneurship idea. Right. One such example is this example. I guess all of you in lockdown have at least played Ludo online with your family, at least for once, right? Or not family, at least with you have played at least once this game, right? So that is the entrepreneurship journey. You have to take up what is already there, improve on the customer experience. Here in this case, when everyone was there in their homes, this app, this Ludo, was completely revolutionizing how families came together, right? So you have to improve on whatever is there already and form different ideas and deliver the same product to the customer, right? So Zomato or Swiggy, they never cook their food, right? They just deliver the parcels from the hotel to the customer. So you have to evolve the existing process and improve the life of the customer, right? So that's a very important. Learn from the failures and improve on the existing products and think how you can solve the customer, focus on the customer differently. So when we started, we were never clear on what we want to do. The only idea which we had was we have to train students, and that's the only part we had. So that's the now I guess when I tell that I have launched 7 certification courses, or we have given consultancy work for a lot of companies. So that's the process evolving and how we have changed our focus or shifted our focus to different customers, right? So that's important in the journey. You should keep evolving, keep changing your game. The idea should be same. The idea is still same into antennas or RF, but how we are dealing with that, how we are serving the customers has completely changed from where we started. Right. The idea in I'll be open to you. The idea was to do projects, just like other project center in Tinagar. We want to do projects. We want to do implant trainings. That was the only two products which we had. But as time goes now, we have completely removed projects from our product. Right. We have come up with internship. We have come up with completely boot camps like that. So we are evolving. Maybe one day, or maybe I can confidently tell now, we have completely changed from where we started. Right. So that will happen. So that's when you build your brand. So what you believe, you have to keep telling the customers and the using the social media. So social media is the biggest game changer today. Anyone can start your business. You can build your own following. Just like the TikTok was the biggest example for that. Anyone with more than 1,000 or 2,000 followers was a brand, right? So you have to build your brand these days. Without a social media presence, you are completely non-existent. So when you get into entrepreneurship, you should be very good in social media, creating post, writing the copy for that post, and all those things. Please be very strong in the social media aspect, because as I said, without you being in the social media, your company, whatever you do, right, whatever you do, if you are not in social media, no one knows you. Right. And even in this distracted world, finding the attention of the customer is very important. So along with your idea, along with your own business plan, make sure that you understand social media. When should you post, what post you can create, like that, right? So writing the material for that post is a completely different task, right? So that's when you create your own tribe. You will create your own fan following or followers, and people will start talking about you, right? So understanding social media is the biggest challenge today. And once you do that, as you can see on your screens, this is the biggest lesson you can learn today. So brands, companies, and products evolve not only in 3 or 5 year plans, they evolve over the years only. So don't perfect your product when you start. It's okay that your product is average, or it's okay your product just delivers what it says. It should not think that your product should do everything in the starting phase itself. So Apple started with a simple process of the machine which you saw in the initial stage. They wanted to type and they wanted to see, right? So that was their biggest change. They can use a TV, can use just a display machine. Whatever you type, you can program and you can see the result. That was the point where they started in 1976. But today, if you can see Apple, they are the complete front runners of any technology, be it wireless charging, be it wireless headsets, whatever it is. Now they are thinking about phones without charging cables. Maybe next they have already launched. So next year you can see most of the companies, most of the phones will not have charging cables, right? So that's how a company or a product evolves. Now they are perfect, but it has taken them 40 years to be perfect, right? So it's very important that you start your journey, let the process evolve your product. Well, if you don't evolve, you will fail, right? So you have to evolve as a product or a company and focus on your customer. So at any point of this time, Apple did not remove their focus from the customer. Customer was always their focus. So that should be your idea. And that's how brand is created. So initial stage, you attract eyeballs, you attract people towards your brand. Then you think about mechanisms, how you can convert the attraction or the people into your customers, engage them. You have to sell them your products and connect and ask them to talk about your product. So this is the brand cycle, the five steps how you can build your own brand. You have to attract, for example, your social media pages, your emails or your phone calls will attract. How you convert and engage is by giving them trial products, giving them free ebook, or showing them your pictures on your social media pages, post, right? Or creating webinars like this. Then you have to solve your product, sorry, sell your product, and connect with them and spread the as the word of mouth. So this is the brand cycle or how brand is created. 5 steps. So now it's up to you. It's up to you to go on a journey and come out of your comfort zone and see the world beyond the comfort zone, right? So as a brand, you have to be, as an entrepreneur, you have to be very strong in the mind, in the mindset. You have to go a far distance and be very particular about social media, because social media is completely a disruptive force. It can make or break your entrepreneurship journey, right? So make sure that you understand social media and you use social media to your own positive effect, right? So this is my journey and this is what I want to do in future, right? As of now, I started with the technique as being a technical support engineer. Then I was an assistant professor, and then an application manager, and today I'm a founder and CEO. But in the future, I want to try these different things: write a book, do research on radars, launch my own podcast, teach self-development and relationships, start a restaurant, and take up full-time teaching. Right. So whatever I do, maybe after 40 or 45 years of my age, full-time teaching. So before that, I want and make sure that I have a lot of stories to tell, right? So this is how your journey should be. It's okay to change jobs or change your focus until you enjoy the journey, right? So just enjoy and make sure that you fulfill your family commitments and your own personal financial commitments. I'm not telling that you go out and enjoy yourself, not like that. Enjoy in the sense, fulfill your family commitments and also like or love what you do. So that's what I mean. Fulfill your commitments, right? Enjoy the process. So have an eye on, so two eyes, right? So have an eye on your family or your own personal commitments. Another eye should always love what you're doing, right? So the job which you're doing or the entrepreneurship journey you want to take up. So there are a lot of things. Even if you have listened, you might think that, oh, there there are a lot of things, right? So that is what entrepreneurship journey is. So whatever I've shared is just a minuscule of the experience. Entrepreneurship is something which you have to jump and experience it for yourself. So whatever I've told you up or prepare your mind to take up this journey. It's a very interesting journey where you learn a lot. You will conquer a lot of different fears which you have. For that, you fulfill your family and personal commitments in the journey process, right? Without that, your life would be incomplete, right? It will be meaningless. If your peers, family, or your spouse is not happy, it's completely waste, right? So make sure that you make them understand that journey and make your life easier with your entrepreneurship journey, right? So that's very important. So in whatever I've done, I've always kept an eye on the commitments which I'm talking about. It was never disturbed. Right. So these are the few books which you can read. The Alchemist, Who Am I? Both these books are for your personal experience. You will, when you read these books, you will completely feel that your life is changing. Right. So that's my suggestion. You can download PDF or you can buy from Amazon or Flipkart. That's your wish. Then you can learn
Hello, sir. Sir,
Sir, you have been muted, sir.
we are not able to hear, sir.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yeah, yeah.
Now
Uh,
only it is audible, sir.
Yeah, yeah, sorry. Some internet connection.
yeah, okay.
Just a second. Let's reconnect.
Okay.
So start with the where you can learn a lot with respect to the how you can start your business and all those things. So that's one thing. And then you have how you can start your business book, where you have a lot of case studies where how we decide on different products and why we choose different type of product or possibility, right? So that's a very interesting book where you can learn a lot. And then the safeguarding, which will teach you when you have to give up or when you have to giving up, right? So that's a very interesting book because in my journey I have gone through that idea again and again. So whenever I wanted to give up, that's one book which has again brought me to my senses, and I have not given up on this journey. So the dip is a very interesting book where you can learn about which is a good quit point and which is not a good quit point, right? So if you have spent, or if you have spent at least 2 or 3 years in this entrepreneurship journey, from there on, it's a very bad quit point, right? So if initially, if you quit, it's fine. So in the first year or 2 years, if you quit, that's fine. That's a good quit point. But after as you can see in the picture, the person is there, right? So the last book, that is the lowest points. Every entrepreneur will go through that. For me personally, this pandemic was its lowest point, where your growth will be negative and you will not have any financial. You have to you will be facing the rut where you want to give up, but you cannot give up in that point, right? So that is the lowest point of an entrepreneur. Once you cross that, next phase is a completely new phase, right? Which is only growth, the steep growth there, right? So that is the dip book which I will suggest, which will tell you about the negative or the other aspects of the entrepreneurship journey. So you will have ups and downs, but never give up in the whenever you are at the extreme lowest point. So that is the lesson I have learned. So these books might help you in understanding life and the entrepreneurship journey and prepare you for the journey. And of course, I'm an entrepreneur, so I cannot help. So I've finished my presentation. So I've talked about the entrepreneurship journey, and I've talked about how you can prepare your mind for this entrepreneurship journey. Then I have talked about branding and how you can use social media to build your online presence. So it's and so all these three, whatever I've talked, are just to prepare your mind. Once you get into the entrepreneurship or you take up as a career, you will learn for yourself and you can take up the positive aspects as you go, right? So if antenna domain or if RF industry is your idea about entrepreneurship or career, I'll suggest you to take up this internship, which you are starting on January 4th. So it will be a complete online, only in the evenings sessions. So we'll learn how to design different antennas, like wearable electronics based antennas. We'll design IRNSS based antennas and MIMO based antenna is for 5G communication systems. So I'll suggest you take up this internship and learn how we solve different problems with our design. Right. So that starts on 4th January. Right. And of course we are so this is what this is completely new, which I can proudly tell you that 2021 will be the year of antennas at Tesla Mind. So we are going to celebrate 2021. Not celebrating in the sense we are not doing any show here. So we are going to celebrate in the sense we are going to take up antenna as our only focus in the 2021. All our post in Instagram or LinkedIn will focus on antennas, and they are working off different antennas and how they are solving the real world problems. In the pandemic also, most of our work and on learning was online only. So without antennas, that would not have been possible. So Tesla Mind's way of uh, taking the antenna design or inspiring young engineers like you towards antenna design and RF front end design. So that would be the year 2021 would be the year of antennas at Tesla Minds. So hope you all join on this journey, and let's together create a world where our RF circuits or our entrepreneurship ideas help another person, another human being, and improve their lives. Right. So with that note, I'll end this session. Happy New Year to all of you and your families. Hope next year would be as successful as you want it to be. As the only warning sign is next 6 months would also be in from work from home or learn from home only. So evolve from your home, right? So we have to face it. So evolve from your home. Hope you have good health, and whatever success you want, you achieve that. So with that note, I will end this session. If you want to get reach me, you can reach me on just one more slide, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Just share my contact.
Okay. Meanwhile, participants, if you have any queries, you can put it on the chat box.
Yeah, yeah, please.
Yeah, and even you can unmute yourself and can have a discussion.
Yes, in the meanwhile, please, if you have any doubts or if you have any queries with respect to entrepreneurship, please. Anyone? Okay, fine, ma'am. Maybe I'll conclude. I'll just
Okay.
type in the chat box. So thanks for this
Okay.
opportunity. I have talked about the entrepreneurship as a company, or how you can prepare yourself in this journey. And in the end, I have also talked about how you can build your own brand and take up entrepreneurship as a career. So it's up to you to take up this challenge and build your career around it. Thank you to all the participants, and I thank the organizing committee, the management for giving us this opportunity. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Just a minute, sir. We'll formally close. So on behalf of Panimal Institute of Technology and the sponsoring organization, and on my own behalf, I extend a very hearty thanks to Mr. T.V. Jayanandan. Thank you so much for being with us, sir. Thanks for sharing your findings, opinions, and even your own experience with us today. Thank you so much. As a token of love and appreciation, we would like to give an e-memento to our speaker. We'll just share the memento.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
1 second, sir. Yes, yes. Okay, sir. So, just a token of appreciation, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, all the participants. I'll just share my contact details here in the chat
Yes.
box.
Okay, sir. Participants, we'll post the feedback link in the chat box. Please fill that also. And sir will be sharing his contact. If you want, you can take the contact of our speaker.
Yes, ma'am. I've shared.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot. I'll leave.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Participants, please fill the feedback link. You can fill the feedback link and you can leave the session. Please fill the link.